I kind of screwed that up.
Yeah,
All right. How's it going, everybody? Good Movies Podcast. Good to be back after missing last week. Supposed to have had a storm here. It looked like we were going to have a storm, and then it was nothing. And we could have went live after all, but so be it. But we were talking about the Olympics a minute ago. Simone Biles, I don't know, she just rubs me the wrong way after the last Olympics, the Tokyo Olympics, because she dropped out of the team competition. It was and claiming she had like mental distress or something. You know, you got a athlete that's been in multiple Olympics, won multiple. You know, you all of a sudden have mental stress. I don't know. She just kind of
Yeah.
rubs me the wrong way. Yeah.
I don't know. She seems like
I don't really know much about her.
She's talented. She's very
yeah.
talented. I mean, but
considering I saw a picture of her next to Shaq, and they said that like in her routines, she could actually like jump over him.
Oh my god!
What you see a picture of the two of them together, you're like, what?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought it was Chewbacca and the guy in the R2D2 thing. That's the comparison. How big it was. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe she can star in a sequel to Gymkata.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Gymkata 2. It's only been 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you know Kurt Thomas died? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny that you brought. It was funny you brought that up. Somebody had just done. I think it was like What Up Flicks or something like that, or Bad Flicks or something, and they were doing a thing, and then they're like they made fun of it for 20 straight minutes, and then it's like, sadly, we lost Kurt Thomas in 2022. I'm like, you just bust a guy's balls for 20 minutes, and now you're saying you're sorry he died.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a couple movies like back in the 80s, maybe early 90s, where they would take gymnasts and put them in movies. I forget
American
the name.
Anthem.
Okay, yeah.
Mitch Gaylord.
Mitch Gaylord, yeah.
And Mrs. Wayne Gretzky. Oh man, let me tell you, she was smoking hot in that movie. There was like a lot of horny teenagers that just rented it for him. You know, and then it was just like when Janet Jones was like, yeah, I think I'll watch this. Janet Jones is in it.
I don't know what you guys are talking about with that one.
You never seen that? It's called American Anthem with Mitch Gaylord and Janet Jones. 1985.
No, I haven't seen that.
It was right after he was like, did he win the gold medal, Dan?
I don't remember. I remember hearing his name all the time, and then all of a sudden, you see he's in the trailer for this new movie coming out. It's like, what?
Yeah, it was, dude. It was just so bad.
Yeah.
They just had like as they used to say, they MTV'd it. Heavy music. Sweat glistening off of Janet Jones's arms and between her boobs and stuff. And it was, I remember seeing the trailer for that in the movies and people like laughing, like literally laughing out loud.
Yeah. That's very good. I'll have to try to find that. Check it out.
Yeah, if you look hard enough, like on YouTube or something like that, you might be able to find it. But watch the trailer for it, definitely. American Anthem. It's hysterical.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought like, hey, of all the events, right? Let's take the gymnasts and start putting them in movies.
I'm surprised they never put Carl Lewis in a movie.
Yeah. His dad was my social studies teacher in Willingboro.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, I had his dad for a teacher.
Wow.
Yep, because I moved here when I moved to Morristown when I was in 9th grade. So I lived in Willingboro through middle school.
Oh, okay.
So it was weird, I had him for like 7th grade or 8th grade, I forget which. And then like the next year, I'm watching the Olympics on TV and he's in the stands, every time Carl Lewis or Carol Lewis was on screen, they would always have a reaction from him,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my homeroom teacher when I went to high school played football with Junkyard Dog, the wrestler Junkyard Dog. So his name was Mr. Howard. Nicest man. He was so nice. And big black dude, man. I mean, this guy, I mean, I think he had to be like 6'5", like 285, but built like a brick shithouse. Quietest guy, really nice, sweet man, you know? And he goes, yeah, man, I know JYD. He goes, Sylvester. I played football with him. And he had this, if you looked at JYD, the football players got branded on their arms.
Yeah.
Like a hazing kind of thing. And Mr. Howard had and he goes, yeah, he goes, when you look at wrestling, he goes, check out Sly's arm. He's got the same branding as I do.
Ah.
And I was like, shut up. And when I came in next, he told us that like on a Thursday or something, and wrestling was on Saturday mornings. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And he goes, what, you didn't believe me, Kenny? I was like, I believed you, but I didn't know what that was. I just thought it was from a match or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah, JYD with the big chain.
Yep. Hey, what's up, Pat Master?
Yeah, how's it going, Sydney, as well? I don't like to interrupt as much as I can.
Greatest movie trilogy. For me, it's Star Wars.
It's a pretty good one.
Probably so, yeah. The original Star Wars, to be exact.
I don't count the other ones.
I don't even.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other trilogies. It's good.
Well,
Naked Gun trilogy is good.
The Naked Gun. Well, the other one that's close to Star Wars is the three indie ones.
Yeah.
The first three indie ones.
You can say that.
Yep.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim. What's up? I got it's kind of obscure for American audiences, but I got this. It's called the Game Trilogy. It's like the Most Dangerous Game, the Executioner's Game, and I don't have it in front of me, but it's got the guy. Of course, now I'm doing a live stream, so I can't remember names.
Of course,
but it's got the guy. Anyway, he was the bad guy in Black Rain with Michael Douglas.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. You talk about him on your videos.
Yeah, I did a whole thing because I reviewed all three movies. I unboxed it. I did all three movies. Of course, he passed away before that movie was even released in the States.
Right.
At the age of 40, which is sad. But he was in this trilogy of films. Man, it is very solid. And it's one of those ones like the first one's excellent. Then the second one is excellent. So you're like, okay, yeah. Just kind of like Empire Strikes Back. You know what I mean? When, which some people think is like the best. If the second one is like really good and they don't wait like 25 years for the third one, like Godfather 3 or something like that, then you're probably going to have a good trilogy.
Lord of the Rings.
Yep. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is really good too.
I think it's up there really with Star Wars, but
to be honest, I haven't really gone back and rewatched it that much. The one I like, I just some people aren't crazy about Two Towers. I love Two Towers. I mean, you got what, like a 45-minute long battle scene?
Yeah.
I love castles and stuff, so I love that.
Talking trilogies and
but I can't see
Bill and Ted.
Ted.
Most triumphant trilogy. We were talking trilogies, and I have one right next to me.
Yeah. Jim's got a good one too.
Oh yeah,
the Man with No Name trilogy.
Yep.
If you're talking about like a thematic trilogy, yeah.
They are all great.
Jim just had I think it was I forget how many he had, but his favorite westerns. I forget if it was 10 or 15. Of course, he had all three of those on there.
Oh yeah.
And then he had Duck You Sucker from Leone 2 on there. But those are so darn good. And the one with Bronson, Once Upon a Time in the West.
That you know what? That's like I keep on rotating back and forth Unforgiven and Once Upon a Time in the West. At first 10 minutes of Once Upon a Time in the West is just like, man, it's like you're like holding your breath like the whole
Right.
time because like
It's
so
good.
much stuff is like going on, and it's probably one of the best introductions to characters in a movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not even without saying no dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
When he takes off his hat and he's just drinking the water from
Yeah.
Man, that's just so great.
You get such 3 recognizable faces. The one guy was from the spaghetti westerns, and then you got Woody Strode and Jack Elam, who were in dozens of things, including westerns.
Yeah.
And just Jack Elam's facial expressions.
Yeah.
Too. It's just like with the eye.
With that one eye, I know.
And it's just like oh man, it's just so good. Because I was telling my buddy about it, and he was like, "Oh, I've never seen that before." And then he watched it. He was like, "Why didn't you tell me about this before?" I was like, "Dude, I've been bitching about you to watch it for a couple years now," and he finally got around to it. And Stuart George, got me into another one, the Professionals.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah,
that's another one I never heard of before until Stuart had brought it up.
Yeah, great cast in that one too.
Yeah.
Jim say,
and also Cannonball Run, right?
That's what I was just going to say. Every time I see him, he's the doctor in Cannonball Run in the back of the ambulance.
Right. He's just they must have been there all day doing. You see there, you've seen the outtakes, of course.
Oh,
how many? He must have been in that ambulance all day waiting for them to finish that scene.
Have you ever seen the progression of the Cannonball Run in reality? Like over the years, obviously it's illegal, but people still try to do it. But it's usually like one person at a time. It's not like a big event where a bunch of people. But they try to do it, and like they got all these different methods of trying to get, because they eventually the police, they'll find out somebody's doing it because somebody's running at high speeds, and they try to get around it. But it's crazy. Somebody made a YouTube video on it one day, and it was very fascinating.
I think Dan, you did one on Cannonball. The movie
Cannonball. Yeah, that's with Carradine.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about that is, I forget which studio did which, but you had Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest in Hong Kong. They were both constantly trying to either bring Western stars over there or produce movies over here, which is why I think Shaw Brothers did Cannonball Run. That's why they have Jackie Chan in there. But the other studio did Cannonball.
Yeah,
it's really weird. Oh, Jim's just
Jim's
Dan had brought that. Watch Mr. Dan's videos because they're very informative, and the son of a bitch makes you go out and spend money too.
Because I think we all do that to each other.
Yeah, I went out and I bought some karate movies because Revenge of the Samurai.
Oh, cool.
And it also has Karate Gangster on here.
Okay.
I literally just opened up the box because it was like soaked.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Militant Eagle and Prodigal Boxer.
Prodigal Boxer, yeah.
Operation Cobra.
Okay.
And then the main two that I got because of you was these.
Oh yeah, you gotta have that one.
Because you did a big thing with the Shaw Brothers, and then Return.
Yeah.
And then this one's just like a bunch of generics. She just threw this one in.
Oh, right.
It has 4 of them. None of them say the title on it though. They don't say what's in there. It just says 4 ninja movies.
Right.
So I was like, that's why it's like when I show them off, I'm like, yeah, Mr. Dan had me spend more money on this.
Yeah.
Fast Company's I have Fast Company somewhere. I think that's like a drag racing movie, isn't it?
Well, that's another movie I haven't seen.
Were you talking about this? Somebody was talking about this, and I bought it. I don't know where it might have been part of a extra feature on one of the movies I was watching. But the art of self-defense.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I brought that one up.
It's an interesting movie. Kenny probably wouldn't like it because it's got Jesse Eisenberg in it.
Yeah, he's a definite turn. He's one of the guys, Dan, that I do not watch. As soon as he comes on the screen, I just flip off.
Does somebody snap him in half like a toothpick?
If that were the case, maybe I'd
No.
watch.
No. He don't bother. He don't bother me. He's fine. But he kind of always plays the same character, and he kind of does in this too. But it's not like a comedy. It's kind of like a weird drama. Like he gets mugged by these group of people, and he decides, he eventually decides he wants to learn how to defend himself, and he slowly learns that the people he's learning karate from are the people who mugged him, and they're going out mugging people, so they'll like join their dojo or whatever, and yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's a pretty interesting movie. Who's the one the kind of the sensei of the, I can't think of his name though. I can't read it here. His last name is Navola. You would recognize his face. You probably can't see it in here very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting movie. Sorry I didn't give a better description. That's pretty bad, but
Jim said he was pretty good. Jim said he was pretty good in Zombieland. I like Zombieland because it had Woody Harrelson in it.
Yeah.
But I just can't take him.
Mm-hmm.
We're all sick. We all have the fever.
Top 5 movies of the 70s. That's so hard.
So hard.
Yeah, Chinatown's like one of the top ones for me.
Everything starts off with Star Wars and then it goes down for me.
Good Star Wars, Godfather 2.
Godfather.
Yeah.
2 ones that will never probably be on anybody's list. 3 Days of the Condor. I love that. Absolutely love that movie. And French Connection.
Yeah, I was gonna say French Connection, and then I was also gonna say Exorcist because I was thinking of
The moment in Zombie when Woody Harrelson finally gets the Twinkie is one of the funniest things of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
well, and the part where they accidentally kill Bill Murray too.
See, I wanted to get, when my dad was still with us, I tried to get him to watch that because he's a big Bill Murray fan. I tried to get him to watch it without telling him that Bill Murray was in it. Like he didn't know. But if that had, I was looking for a time when that was on, and I was just going to go over there and just turn it on and go, hey, let's start watching this. He probably would have been engaged enough where, he would have got to, because he didn't like anything that had like horror. Usually he didn't. But he liked Bill Murray. I think he would have really got a kick out of that, but I could never arrange it.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim, you got 5 good ones right there. Well, and you could go with comedy. Yeah. You could just do 5, a top 5 of comedies too.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Young Frankenstein. Yeah. You had a lot of people back then that were on a roll, whether it was William Friedkin or Coppola or Mel Brooks.
Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is definitely the top ones.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, that's
another good one.
Yeah, usually I don't. When people say like your favorite movies from this decade or that decade, I usually don't think of comedies right away for some reason.
Yeah.
Until somebody else mentions it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
80s, I do. That's one after, of course, the top 3 of the 80s. Like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and Revenge of the Nerds to me, Bachelor Party.
Well, it's for you. It's kind of like probably like the late 80s, early 90s for me. Like when it starts getting in that era, I can remember stuff better. So I was born in '78, so I was a kid during the '80s, so I didn't really focus on that kind of stuff. And for the '70s, it's probably like that for you. And in the '80s, you started becoming a film fan at that age, more so, or you just kind of get to that age where you start remembering, you start putting things like that in your memory, Well,
it's funny in the '70s, and Dan will attest to this. You only had 6 channels, so it was basically you didn't have like the plethora of everything that you have today, So it was like
Doberman Gang. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that one.
I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it. I remember seeing like trailers for it or commercials for it when it was supposed to be aired on TV, and I may have even seen some of it, and I don't remember it that much.
Yeah, Life of Brian.
Oh,
Animal House.
See,
Animal House.
yeah,
That's another good one.
Yeah, I go blank whenever people ask me questions on here about stuff like that. But yeah, the Holy Grail, Monty Python, and the Holy Grail. I believe Meaning of Life, but it's not at the same standard as the first two.
Is there a better introduction in film than Belushi in Animal House when he's taking a piss outside and he goes, "Grab a beer. It doesn't cost anything." I mean, that's so great. And he probably was taking a piss too when he was doing that scene.
Yeah, there's a scene talked about funny, somebody taking a leak in a scene. Do you guys remember Strangers with Candy, that show?
Oh yeah.
With, I vaguely watched that.
Yeah, there's a scene where like Amy Sedaris, she's the main person. Amy Sedaris is the main person in it, and
I think she's
her character Jerry Blank. She's going to go on a date with this guy, and he's like and she's like kind of like ugly older woman, like she's went back to school when she was in her 40s, and she's like kind of ugly, and she is going to go out on this date with this like the over sexual like kind of senior in high school guy. And so she there's a scene where he's picking her up, and he's like outside her front door after he's rang the doorbell, and he's pissing in the bushes, and she answers the door, and he like wipes his hand on his pants, and it's just funny. It's just a funny scene. How's it going, Katie?
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Sorry, I'm late.
Good. That's all right. You're not too bad late.
I saw you got a new video up. It's pretty long, and it's got everything you watched recently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, my phone has been off for like the past 2 weeks because the battery died on it, and so I've finally been able to actually watch some of my movies. So it's a blessing and a curse in a way for my phone to be off. So, but yeah, I'm happy I finally actually, because of course I buy the movies because I want to watch them. It's just it's really hard to explain why I haven't been watching my movies, but but I'm happy that I finally have been watching stuff, and so I can have stuff to talk about now about stuff I've been watching and everything. So
yeah, cool.
So what were you guys talking about?
Sydney asked us about asked what we thought was the top 5 movies of the 70s, or our top 5 movies of the 70s.
Oh, okay.
But she's got hers. These are good ones: Taxi Driver, Escape from Alcatraz, The Day of the Jackal, Exorcist, and The Deer Hunter. Yeah, all great movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I'm getting behind on the Doberman Pinschers are trained to rob banks. Must see. It sounds nice.
Yeah, those are still ones I haven't seen yet.
That's right.
Frank Oz holding up the pen with the condom on her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
That's really neat.
Would you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Where I like to see that video. I like the filming location videos. I do like that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was that filmed in California? I assume it was. I have no idea.
Lady. Can you just lay down, please?
Yeah, that is a good list. Jim's Movie said hi, Katie.
Huh?
Jim said hi, Katie. Jim's Movie channel.
Sorry, my phone, it's very small. Don't do that, please. And I have to kind of have it away so that way I can have my background and stuff, so I can't really read the chat or anything.
That's no problem.
So
Tucson,
sorry.
Arizona. That's where it was filmed at. That's pretty interesting.
you?
Yeah,
please?
that's one trilogy that we need. Or is there more than? Is there three or four? Back Revenge of the Nerds movies. There's just three, isn't there?
I think there's 3.
Yeah, that's what we need all in Blu-ray because they released the first one in Blu-ray, but never released the second and third one. And that aggravates me when they do that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
I'll admit I seen Fight Club, but I don't remember it, and I just picked it up for a quarter on DVD. So I'll have to rewatch it because I seriously do not remember it. I didn't like it when I seen it, and I don't know. I went with a bunch of buddies. We went to Deptford 8 to see it, and they came out like ranting and raving how great it was and stuff, and it was just like,
Yeah.
What's
I don't know if I've ever felt like rewatching that. You know what I mean? Like I did like it, but it's, I mean, it's kind of designed to not sit well with you. Some of it, I think,
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like, yeah, I'm going to go watch it again. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Disney. There's some Disney movies with pornography that was intentionally put in by the artists. There's like a scene, like what movie is that? It's not Aladdin.
I thought it was Aladdin, and then
is it Aladdin? Yeah, is it Aladdin? Because there's like a window or something. There's a window the camera pans across, and there's like I don't know. I think it's like a naked woman in it, or I don't know if she's naked, but it's like kind of a lewd scene to be in a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the original cover or whatever of I think it's a Little Mermaid had like dicks drawn on the on the cover, but then they re-released it without that. Apparently that was done actually on purpose. I thought maybe it was just a mistake, but no, apparently that was done on purpose.
Nice. Harley Davidson and Marlboro Band filming locations I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was a good movie.
That's Mickey Rourke, and who's the other guy? Don Johnson?
Don Johnson.
Jim used to
made over $100 million in the movies too. I
had no
idea. Yeah, I had no idea. It was just the anniversary of the movie releasing because I do a blog every day on my Facebook channel, and TV, movies, and music and stuff. So, I couldn't believe that made all that money. I always got that confused with the Graceland movie with the Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell.
Okay.
I assume Tucson is cheaper than shooting it. I guess it looks kind of looks like Southern California, but it's a lot cheaper to film there.
I think you guys need to make me a list of what movies to watch because that you guys like to discuss, like from the 70s and the 80s and stuff, because even the stuff that I watched was mostly from like the 90s and upwards. So you guys need to make me a list so that way I can be part of these conversations because I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen Fight Club, right?
Yeah, Fight Club I have.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Fight Club. Oh, well, I thought you said something about Mickey Rooney.
No, we were reading the comments about Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Oh, okay.
That came out
in
88, 89, maybe 90.
Jim said he used to be a projectionist there. I was going to say you need to watch. Kenny does a show with Sean, and Sean used to be a projectionist as well. So,
yeah.
Jim had 3 videos, his drive-in movie memories about like what movies he saw, and the third one is like NC-17, which I think he put a poll up and he said, "How do you guys want me to do this?" So it is like NC-17, but he gives everyone fair warning. It is, it's some of his stories are for the ages.
Okay.
Jim said, Jim said, "Watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit when Baby Herman is going underneath the woman's dress in high def slow mo. It'll blow your mind."
Lurch.
Thriller movies, 1 hour photo, enemy murder in the first, Hard Candy, American History X. Your thoughts on these movies?
I thought Murder in the First. I thought Kevin Bacon should have got an Oscar nomination for that. I still can't get over he didn't get one for that one.
I even think you could argue that Christian Slater should have got something for that.
Yeah,
it might be his best role.
Yeah,
he gives those when he gets to Warden up there. He gives him such a dressing down. The guy can't even like speak at the end of it. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but Hard Candy is incredible. Back when she was Ellen Page, which I don't know what the fuck's going on with all her whatever, but that's an incredible movie in my opinion. Just the whole concept of it. And I actually watched a movie that reminded me a lot of Hard Candy, and then American History X is just also incredible. Both Edwards do a phenomenal job in that, and it's just such a sad movie at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I butchered that. I missed the comma in between Enemy and Murder in the First. Yeah, I've seen Murder in the First, 1 hour photo, American History X. I think I've seen Hard Candy, but I can't remember. It's familiar.
And 1 hour photo is incredible too, because how Robin Williams goes from the funny guy to being that creepy stalker photo. Just what an amazing actor he was.
Yeah, that was great.
R.I.P. to him.
Yeah.
Just he played that part so well. It was really crazy to see him go from, toodaloo, Dr. or Mrs. Doubtfire, God, to playing that kind of a role. Like he was incredible. Wonka, every time, I swear to God, that I am filming, no matter what, the cats are all over me. Every other time, it's like, every once in a while they'll come up, but it's like, they know I'm on camera. So they gotta bug me. So I apologize for them in and out, all over and everything. So sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's no problem.
Don Johnson was really good in a movie called Dead Bang.
I remember that. I know of the movie. I don't remember seeing it though.
With Virginia Madsen.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh wow! I can't believe YouTube. I guess where I'm not monetized, it lets you say that. So 3,000 miles to Graceland. What a piece of shit! I didn't know YouTube would let you say it. I guess where I'm not monetized,
love you. Yes, I do.
It lets you say whatever. That's cool. It all should be like that always. It should always be uncensored, but YouTube, unfortunately, is one of the worst censors.
This is one of the ones I got. I actually got this from Big Lots for like $2.99. It's called Feed Me.
Yeah.
It says it's based on a true story, but again, I wasn't able to look anything up because my phone, and I haven't since, but I need to, because this is a cannibal story of a guy who voluntarily agrees to be eaten, and there's only one case that I know of that's actually true, and this was nothing like how that story actually went down. So they could have just taken their own liberties on the story or not. But I gave this is it you, Kenny, who writes down the movies and gives it a star rating?
Yeah, I give it a Whopper rating.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I don't know if you watched my whole video or not, but that's what I've been doing with my movies now too. So, but I gave this 5 stars. So this is the guy who is the cannibal. He is absolutely insane and crazy, and he's such a phenomenal actor, like who played in this. So, but I highly recommend this for horror fans of any kind. This is 2022 is when this was put out. So
okay. So is that in German or?
No, it's English.
Oh, okay. Because there was a German movie about a cannibalism case that happened like 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I forget.
And
Yeah,
Dan, it's on Tubi.
I don't know about the German one. I know there's probably a couple of movies that have been made about that, but there's a Fangoria movie called Grim Love with Kerry Russell. Have you seen that one?
No.
It was made about that case as well, and it was on the real case about what really happened and everything. But this one, it takes place in like Austria or something like that, but it's in English. So
Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Sorry, Jim, you were right. I did get those confused.
Oh, okay.
I did a Don Johnson double feature last week, and I had that back to back. So yeah, you're right. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, he was great in Cold in July.
Oh, that's a movie, man.
Yeah.
Dexter was good in that too.
He was good. He was really good.
Did you see that, Katie? Cold in July?
No, that one, it doesn't even sound familiar.
I think you picked it up in one of your videos. You got it from Pam.
Cold in July?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't sound familiar, but yeah, I could have. I have so many movies, so I honestly can't remember everything, but if I have it, I'll definitely make sure to check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I reviewed a movie once, and then my friend Nye was like, you already have that movie in another compilation. I was like, oh, because it's the one I got was called A Candle for the Devil, but it's known as it has another title. And she remembered I showed off one of those 10 movie compilations, Mill Creek,
right?
10 horror movies, and I already had it. I was like, whoops.
You're right about those.
I think I actually got that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kenny, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. Dan's right about those compilations because you'll get like a single copy of it, and then you already have it in like a 20 pack of movies or something, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prom Night I have so many times because of those compilation packs. So that's like one of their favorite ones to put in those.
Yeah. And then for the old school movies, a lot of them have Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. It's like a classic one.
Oh, yeah. I like that one too.
And it's good. That's good.
The Terror is another.
The Terror is another one. Yeah, it's on a lot of those.
Because I like to pick up those compilations because even if you pay like a couple bucks for it, you're getting the one movie that you want to see.
Right.
Oh, okay. You'll get the other ones, But it's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. There's like so many compilations. Especially
Jim
Mill Creek.
Yeah. The Django. Yeah, he was good in Django too.
Mm-hmm.
Don Johnson. Kenny, did I talk about? I think I was telling you about this. I was telling somebody about it, one of you guys. But this movie here, Fall. Have you seen that one?
Never seen it or heard of it.
No, I have it. I just haven't watched it yet.
I hadn't. The way I found out about it was the image for like that cover image came up on. I have Roku, and it came up to watch on the Roku channel for free, or it came up to watch on the Roku channel. So I clicked on it, and it started playing a movie, and it started out like in like a church, like a Catholic church, and it was like, this don't seem right. So I kind of fast forward ahead, and it wasn't this movie. So they had it linked to another movie called The Fall.
Wow.
And it was I don't even know anything about that movie, but I clicked off, and then I searched for it again, and it was basically, I think it was wanting you to pay money for it or something. So it was some kind of bait and switch kind of thing going on. So I just looked it up and found it for like $10.
Was The Fall the one with Gillian Anderson?
The Fall.
Because there is a 3-part series with Jamie Dornan where he plays like a loving father, but he's a serial killer.
I don't think this was it. Yeah.
No,
looked like,
this one is far like what I've seen, because I haven't watched like a full preview because I still don't really like doing that. But from just bits I've seen, though, it's like they're on top of one of those wind maker type machines, or one of those like machines that workers have to go really high up to like fix it, and just something happens where they're in trouble and they're about to fall off it, and they're trying to save themselves from falling off it, type of thing.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This one, this movie.
Yeah, that's what that.
Yeah.
I guess
Well, they're a couple. The two girls are both. They're like rock climbers and
so
and
I knew it was something they were fixing
and,
or climbing something. Yeah, tall.
And the one girl's husband falls and dies, and then she's like goes into like this depression, and the other girl gets her to come out finally, and she wants her to climb this. It's a old television broadcasting tower, and in fact at one time I don't know if this was real based on a real tower. I think they actually shot it at a real tower. Obviously, all the acting stuff it was probably done on green screen and stuff like that. But it's supposed to, at one time it was the tallest structure in the United States. It's like over 2,000 feet, and they climb it and they get to the top. And what's crazy about it is, well, I mean, people do this. I don't know if you've seen videos. And what's the reason why I had to get it, because I'm terrified of heights, and even watching it on screen, like it terrifies me when people are doing like action scenes up on a high rise or something, some of that kind of stuff. But so I had to watch it just to kind of it's kind of a horror movie for me in a way.
Yeah.
But what's crazy, like the beginning of the climb, like the main part of the tower, they climb like inside the cage, like inside the structure. And then when they get to the top, then there's an extra spire that's probably another couple 100 feet tall that's completely out in the open. And the ladder's like completely open, and they climb to the top of it, which has a little platform on it. And then the ladder falls out from under them because it breaks. It's all rusty and breaks apart. It's pretty intense. And that's not giving a lot of the movie away. Right. I told a lot, but it's not really giving
too much.
All of it away. Yeah.
Well, if it went smoothly, it would be a short movie, right?
Yeah. They get rescued by a helicopter in a couple hours. Well, technically they do in the timeline of the movie, but there's other things that happen on the way. So. But yeah, I recommend it. If you can find it, you can probably find it for free someplace. It's probably on one of the free channels, I would imagine. But it came out like in 2014, but I'd never really heard of it either.
Well, speaking of free, you guys have you guys ever gone to Just Watch?
No.
You go to Just, if you want to see where a movie's streaming or playing or whatever, go to Just Watch. There's like a little triangle logo, and then it'll tell you all the different places it's streaming or what have you, or even if it's still in the theater. And sometimes they have the movie right there. Like I forget the name of this. They were like, you can watch it on this streaming service right now, and I forget, it's some streaming thing I never heard of. I forget what I even watched, but I watched it. And then there was another one. I was going to watch Blood Beach. I think it's Blood Beach with John Saxon.
Oh, okay.
He's got a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So they're like, oh, yeah, you can watch that on...
if that's John Saxon, I'm dead.
Yeah. It was called... I forget the name of the streaming service. But you had to put in your library card.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. You can watch it as long as you put in your student ID or your library card.
No.
That's too funny.
It's pretty funny.
I don't think Kenny heard me. That's why I was trying to get a reaction on Kenny with the.
What?
Did you? He said John Saxon. I said, if that's John Saxon, I'm dead.
Oh.
Sorry, that's a Mystery Science Theater reference.
Yeah.
From
Mitchell.
The Mitchell. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I picked up a Mystery Science Theater thing.
Nice.
It has like a attack or giant leeches one.
Yep, I got that right here. Yep, this one.
Yeah, I think it's that one. It has like
I keep seeing this, and I'm like, wait. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, they came out with another one, and then I check, and it's like, oh no, it's the same one that I have.
I
wish they would put out the other ones for the price that this, because this was like nothing when I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got like pretty much all of them, and they except the only ones I have there's 2 or 3 that went out of print because they had copyrighted movies that they lost the copyright to, right. So they had to change them. They got re-released in different sets, but one of them was like a couple of the Godzilla movies that they did, and
yeah, those would be cool to own now, sure. But I also have separately. I have Mitchell, and I have I think I have Manos.
Yeah, I have a couple of them. I have the Batwoman, Legend of the Batwoman. I think I got that one. I got Santa Claus versus the Martians. And I think I have one. I don't have it like we used to. Remember when Netflix used to send you the movies, the DVDs at home and stuff like that? Well, me and my brother used to burn them. So we used to burn them and then just like send them back and get 3 more, So it was like I got a lot of the Mystery Science Theater ones by that way.
Yeah.
Because I know I definitely have one of the Godzilla ones, and I know I have Gold Diggers. That just,
I don't remember that one.
I think it's called the Gold Diggers.
Okay, yeah. Then there's, not to be confused with the girl with the gold boots.
Yeah, I think I got that one too, Dan.
That's a great one. That's hilarious. That's one of the worst songs known to mankind in it.
I watched the movie the other day that had like the worst song. I can't. Let me see, because I put everything on my letterbox. Out with the
family. Shit. Not Mystery Science Theater, but the other one they do. Fuck.
Riff Tracks.
Yeah, they did Birdemic.
Oh yeah,
it's got a horrible song in it too.
Hanging out. Yeah.
Hanging out with the family, having ourselves a good time.
It's like if it was modern times and you put in generic song in Chat GPT, that's what would come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
And the guy, that same guy, like shows up in the Birdemic 2.
The singer?
Well, yeah, he's doing another song, and it's like in another just generic. It's like literally looks like they're in like this little room, and he's like set up in like the corner. It's just like 5 people dancing. It's horrible. I bought the trilogy. I had to own the trilogy. Yeah. It's so bad. Yeah.
You had us watch that for here. Like that was your pick of the week. Yeah. That movie is awful.
Yeah.
But bless his heart, the director, he thought he was making like a serious movie. That's why that's why the first one is so funny. He really thought he was making like a serious movie.
Who is it?
Like an homage to the birds. That's what he's trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater that does the? Because I think I watched that version of Birdemic and we're driving again. Yeah. Oh, we're driving again.
It's Riff Track. It's
Riff Tracks. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is I think I've seen both versions, but you've seen the recorded version. The one that I own is the live version they did, and it's really good. I think it's a little bit better, the live version for some reason. But they're pretty similar because they write scripts for all that.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
yeah.
But have you ever say tomorrow afternoon, and you're going to go, you know what? I feel like watching Birdemic 1. You ever pull that one out of your
No.
Blu-ray?
No, it
That's
was
what I
probably
mean.
a waste of money. But I mean, how many? I mean, yeah. I don't think I ever watched part 3. Part two
Was there so many unanswered questions after the 2? You got the third.
Well, they throw in zombies in 2.
Oh my god,
You know?
Dude, we might have to watch that if that's true. Is it 3?
Well, the reason it happens is like there's these birds. That, it takes place. This one actually takes place in Los Angeles. Like the main character just moved to Los Angeles so he can make a movie or something like. It's basically him telling. It's basically a meta kind of story of him making the story. It's kind of like Clerks 3. It's kind of like that, but
dude.
But the La Brea tar pits or La Brea tar pits. They have all these ancient birds and stuff, and they come back to life, and they're like dropping stuff on people that's turning them into zombies or bringing the dead back to life.
Oh yeah,
like they fly over the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and people start coming back to life. But there's a particular scene in it, a particular series of scenes that they clearly only had a permit to use like 1 or 2 streets, and they were just driving in circles doing a chase scene, and you could keep seeing the same building show up in the background. Like,
yeah, I think in Birdemic, I think don't they go into a convenience store and all the candy's blurred out?
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Couldn't get the licensing.
No, they were afraid to get sued for everything. Oh my gosh. Well, the funny thing is, the guy was obsessed with the birds. So on Riff Tracks, after they did Birdemic, they found one of his earlier films. I think it's called like Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
It's about like alternate reality, bringing back your dead girlfriend or something. But he actually got Tippi Hedren from the Birds to be in that for like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was pretty amazing.
He's got 2 other older movies than those. And they're both on Riff Tracks too.
Yeah.
It's Jack and it's not it
might not be Jack and Jill, but it's something like that, right?
Yeah. It's Jack and something, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And the other is like a I can't remember. It's a weird I can't remember. It's bad too. It's the same way. Like horrible special effects, like green screen special effects.
Yeah,
it's got the most laughable like set pieces they've made out of CG. It's just terrible. Yeah, I'll look them up. That's a bad thing. I'm not a boomer by many decades, but I act like it sometimes because I've got a computer here and I can just look up.
Julie and Jack. Okay.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'm younger than Kenny there, and I'm not looking stuff up. Does it have the other one listed there as well? There's another one. It's
a Replica in 2005.
Replica, yeah. That's the one where it's like it's a clone. There's like a clone, like a girlfriend of it. There's a guy. It's always a guy and a girl, and it's like kind of the same setup, like guy and a blonde girl, and then the girl dies somehow, but they make a clone of her, and she, see where that goes.
I think the director's in one of them, like Julie and Jack, and he actually has one line where he actually says he's talking to someone and he's trying to be all casual, and he goes, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go cup coffee," and they're like, on Riff Tracks, they were like, "What? You're going to go cup coffee? You forgot a couple prepositions there, buddy. Like, what kind of line was that?" Like,
that's usually the part that would go cut.
Right.
They would go, there go, keep rolling.
Yeah, not this guy. He just keeps rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a modern day Ed Wood.
Yeah.
You know what's?
Yeah, they're pretty. They're too. Yeah, they're just laughably horrible.
Yeah.
I love the scene, the riff track. You have to watch a riff track. So I mean, I watched the second one without the riff tracks, and it's pretty bad. But but I think you can find the first one actually on YouTube for free. I'm
I
pretty
wouldn't be
sure
surprised.
It's
on
on
Riff
Tubi.
Tracks, but yeah. Well, I'm talking about the Riff Tracks version.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the Riff Tracks is on Tubi. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where he's like walking the main character, the man, he's walking into the building, and they're like, another guy walks up behind him and goes around him. They're like, "Yeah, I'm trapped. I'm stuck behind some knob who can't walk."
Yeah, because the guy can't even walk naturally in the scenes.
Yeah.
He's like the director films it from this like weird low angle, which doesn't help. But he looks like a robot walking.
In the way he and that the actress in that the blonde girl, I follow her I started following her on Instagram. Like,
Yeah, she had a
after I saw that
podcast.
movie.
She had a podcast.
Did she really?
Yeah, she was actually pretty good at it too. She would get people from B movies on there and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I actually saw her on another podcast on the podcast that John Goblikon. I don't know if you guys know that band, Necro Goblikon. Anyway, there's a guy dressed like a goblin, and he has a podcast, and he interviewed her. It was actually pretty entertaining.
So he sits there with a goblin head on?
Yeah, he's always has a goblin head on, and like when the band performs, he comes out and runs around and does stuff, and then he has like a little podcast.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
What's the most? Jim's wanting to know what's the most underrated and overrated horror film from the last decade. I'll have to pass this to you because I am not a horror expert.
That's a tough one.
Horror. Sounds like I said horror expert.
Well, I just finished watching. That was the other one I didn't put in my Sinister with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
I like that one.
Yeah, it kind of gave you kind of like a Twin Peaks kind of feel with the town and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that was generally well. I don't know about critics, but I think fans pretty much like that one.
Oh, okay. I just happened to. It was on HBO Max. I was too lazy to get the hell up and put a DVD in the player, so it was like, oh, let's see what's on Max, and I watched that, and that was good.
You know what? I don't know if it's the most overrated. I can't really think, but I didn't really love Hereditary, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't have an urge to go rewatch it again.
Yeah, that's true. Katie, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've only seen it once, so I honestly, and it was like when it first came out, so I can't really remember it that well. I remember liking it though. And I'm trying to think myself on which is like been overrated and underrated of the last 10 years, but I honestly can't even remember like what's come out in what year, to be honest. So I'm trying to think, because I haven't seen anything recently. Like I haven't seen Talk to Me yet. I haven't seen Saw X. I haven't seen what were some of the other ones that just came out?
Exorcist.
And I know we're talking a whole 10 years, but
the new Exorcist.
oh yeah, Believer or something.
Believer.
Yeah, Insidious, The Red Door.
Long Legs.
Long Legs was pretty good. I went to see that.
Which one?
Long Legs. I went to see that. It was pretty good.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. Long Legs, like Daddy Long Legs.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's not about a Daddy Long Legs.
Oh, okay.
It's about Nicolas Cage is a serial killer. But
I
have not seen Midsummer. I own it. I bought it.
I haven't seen it either. I just I can't bring it. Yeah, I haven't really had the urge to check it out.
And I've seen Men, but I honestly did not understand what the ending meant. Like I didn't get it. So
2.5 Men?
No, Men from A24. Men.
Oh, I have
and
no idea.
and
I
then
swear to God, I thought you were talking about the sitcom. So I was
no.
like, that's a horror movie. Well, yeah, Charlie Sheen. That's kind of a horror movie.
No, because we were talking about Hereditary and Midsummer, and then Men came out around that same
Oh, okay.
somewhat time period.
I've never heard. I'm just new into like the horror thing because I've gotten since I was watching Dan's videos. He got me into like the Hammer horror, like the '70s horror movies and stuff. I kind of like them more than like not the like the splattery stuff. I
Mm.
like the more
Yeah,
psychological stuff.
yeah, I'm into it all. Like I just like one. I have a list. I think I talked about this before of the internet's opinion and some people in their videos of their opinions of the most disturbing horror movies out there or just most disturbing movies out there. And most of the lists say this movie called Irreversible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just watched that because I just got it, and I was so excited too because I got it for only $2. When even the DVD on Hamilton Book is like $21. It's the same price as the freaking Blu-ray,
Wow.
which is weird. But I mean, I just wanted to see the movie, So I was like, from Brian Sells It All on Whatnot, from his horror
Yeah.
show. So I found it for $2. I was like, oh my God, finally. So I can see this movie that has always been on all these lists for disturbing. And I watched it, and it was shot in a very unconventional way because they shot it kind of like backwards. So that was interesting. And I mean, yeah, of course it was disturbing because, it had a pretty vicious rape scene in it. But I mean, I'm looking for what I'm looking for something more than just that. Because of course that's disturbing. That's very obviously disturbing.
Yeah.
I want to find, I guess, a movie that's more than just obvious, something that's, I don't know
Yeah, some movies that you feel like the director's kind of grandstanding a little bit, like, hey, let me shove this in your face for the sake of shoving it in your face, It's
Yeah.
kind of like Jim says he had Irreversible, a blind buy, but he got rid of it because he knew he'd never watch it again. That's the way I feel about it. I saw it. I probably won't watch it again.
Yeah. I mean,
I won't watch it
honestly,
again.
out of
Put it that way.
the one movie I may never watch again, I don't know if I ever will, that I truly thought as far as those kinds of the scenes go is Dead Girl.
Oh God, that was wow. I had such a
That
hard time
one
with
was
that.
more with those scenes because of what it was. Has who's seen it? So Kenny, you've seen it. Dan, have you seen it?
Saw it.
I haven't
John,
seen
you?
it. No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You're
You can go ahead and talk about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her just sitting there, not moving at all during the scenes, but yet she's alive. But I don't know. That's what has such a more effect on me than in the usual scenes of the rape and stuff like that, is because they're fighting against it. I don't know. It had such a psychological effect on me. It was, I don't know. So to me, that's disturbing. Like it still had those kinds of scenes in it, but in a very different way that just really got to me. So I don't know. But there is one movie I got recently though that I consider to be more disturbing than probably most people might, or I don't know. It just depends on who you are, what your opinions are. But this movie called The Show with Josh Duhamel.
never
You guys
heard of
seen
that.
that one?
Yeah.
No. Um, it's about suicide, but in a whole different kind of spectrum. So there is warning for that if that's a topic you can't handle or anything. But that is a movie I also highly recommend. It's very psychological, but that's the kind of stuff that I like as far as disturbing movies go, that go in a very different, which is still kind of obvious because of course suicide is very disturbing, very, traumatizing and stuff like that, but it's it's not so in your face like how a rape would be, because I don't know how to explain how. That's just my opinion too, though. So, but anyways, we can get off this topic. Sorry, that kind of turned dark with the subject matter and stuff. I apologize. Sorry. That's just what I was watching recently, and yeah, I'm interested in that kind of stuff. So
I had to think for a second. I was thinking about. I don't know if Nope would be considered a horror. It's sci-fi horror. I think it's supposed to be sci-fi horror. I didn't really, for some reason, I didn't really care for that one so much. Yeah.
On which one was it?
He was trying. Jordan Peele wants to be.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen that one yet.
He wants to do the Twilight Zone, and he did the Twilight Zone. On television, but he wants to do that so bad, and I think Nope was kind of the pinnacle of that, at least the pinnacle before. I think he did that. That came out before the Twilight Zone, or a similar time, but I just didn't. I don't know. There's just something about it. He just didn't. It didn't. And I like extraterrestrial movies and things like that. I thought there was things about it that were eerie and creepy, like the whole thing ended up being like a actual animal and stuff, the UFO, that. And it was creepy. He ate people and people were still alive whenever they were being ingested. But other than that, like it just didn't hit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all I've seen is what is it, Get Out, and then Candyman. I haven't seen Ma or whatever yet, and I haven't seen Us yet, and I haven't seen Nope.
Rod Serling. I was trying to think of Rod Serling's name a second ago. He wanted to be Rod Serling.
Yeah, they even had in one of the. I have the series, but I've only seen about 4 of those. And the one that I skipped ahead to watch was the one they have an actor playing Rod Serling in one of the episodes.
Oh wow!
It was okay. It was pretty good. It's a little not easy to pull that off, something like that. To be respectful and everything, but that was pretty good.
Have you guys seen this movie?
Oh yeah,
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. It's Ron Perlman. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's good. I'd never had seen it. I've wanted to buy it on Criterion forever, and I finally bought it during the sale. And I hadn't seen it, oddly enough. I thought it was would be well, and I like out there movies. That sometimes it's hard for me to put in a movie like that, but I always enjoy crazy movies that are kind of out there visually and things like that. But this one actually was more straightforward than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
there really wasn't nothing out of the ordinary about it.
Like a twist on the vampire legend,
Right.
The device was actually, it was cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat. Have you guys seen that?
Which one was it? I couldn't read.
Kronos. Yeah,
Kronos.
I don't.
Oh, I haven't. No.
Yeah. It's by Benicio
Guillermo del
Toro. Guillermo del Toro. I'm getting two people mixed up.
I enjoyed Pan's Labyrinth. I seen that at him, and the other one, the one where
I like
screws
Hellboy.
the fish.
Yeah, that was good, Kenny.
Shape of Water.
Shape of
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah.
I like the girl. I like the girl in that.
Yeah,
she's a really good actress.
Definitely, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he did Hellboy, the first Hellboy movie too.
And then he had he remade the classic, because he grew up watching the same stuff that we did. He does some of the commentary on the Night Gallery series that I have, because he watched all those episodes, back when we did. But he remade Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, which was a made for TV movie. It's one of my favorite made for TV movies. And I didn't really like that one that much. I mean, he made them into the little creatures, into creatures that steal your teeth. But he already did that in the second Hellboy, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So it was kind of repetitive for me. Blade 2, he made that. Yep.
Yep.
Didn't he
He's a
do The
great
Orphanage?
I don't know. Did he?
He either made it or it was presented by him. He had some movies there for a while that were like presented by, he like produced them or something.
Oh, sort of like yeah, because there's a lot of the I've been I've been on a kung fu kick thanks to Dan, and like a lot of like the Tarantino stuff.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino presents like Jet Li. In is it Hero?
He's in Hero. That's a Jet Li
Yeah,
movie.
Hero, and then I just picked up another one on Whatnot Sunday that I'll show when I get it. It was I don't even remember what it was, but it was it was Jet Li. He has a series of China.
Once Upon a Time in China.
Yeah, he didn't have one or two. I got three.
Okay.
So if I watch three, will I miss stuff from the other two?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, because a lot of those movies, like for example, the second Return to the 36 Chambers of Shaolin.
Yeah,
it's a different movie, and a lot of back then they would get the same guy to come back and he would play a different character. They did that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I forget if those movies are the same way or not.
Okay, because I didn't even look them up, like if I could get them like on like Tubi or something like that. Because I seen it, he was selling them for like 50 cents.
Oh
so it's like, because I even said to him, dude, do you have Katie, you go on the Whatnot a lot. I'll tell you, Rob Dog. The seller's name is Rob Dog.
I don't know if I've been to any of his shows or not.
Okay, he's located in Texas, and he does them at night because he works like the graveyard shift. So he's literally selling. I'm not kidding you. He's literally selling movies while he's working. I don't know what the dude does, but he has like a whole shitload of movies beside him, and he goes, okay, and basically everything's like 50 cents to $1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
Yeah.
Yes, Guillermo del Toro was the executive producer of The Orphanage.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
He did another one set in Spain, The Devil's Backbone. That was a pretty good ghost story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I never even heard of that.
That one I don't know if that one is, he made it in Spain, Spanish. I'm sure there's like a dubbed version out there somewhere, but I don't know if that one was as much made for, American audiences. So kind of went under the radar, but that was a good one.
Yeah, I don't mind subtitled movies or like, dubbed movies or something like that. It's just,
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either.
It was so funny. I used to be so against that for some reason because I used to think in my head that I'd spend so much time reading it that I wouldn't be paying attention to what was happening in the actual movie. But now I realize that it's not as hard as I used to think that it would be, that I love international movies. So,
yeah,
I mean,
really?
if it is dubbed in English, I will watch the dubbed version. But I mean, if I don't stay away from, non-dubbed versions anymore. Like Irreversible there was no dub, so I just watched it. I think it's in Russian or something. But all subtitled and everything. So, but yeah, and some of the greatest ones like, Train to Busan is dubbed. So, but just trying to think of one of the other. It's shit, what the hell is it called? Like I Saw the Devil or something like that. It was another Korean or one of those international China films. It was really good, but it wasn't dubbed either. So that's why I don't stray away anymore.
Yeah.
What was the first subtitled movie or foreign movie that you guys watched? Because for me, it was the French version of 3 Men and a Baby, the original 3 Men and a Baby. Because that was on. They had and Dan will know this because he grew up in the same area as I did. They played that a lot on Prism, and they played La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah.
Those were like the one and two all the time on Prism.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I thought that the original La Cage aux Folles was hysterically fun.
Yeah. I almost said The Boat, but when eventually I saw it in the theater when they re-released it, and it was in German with subtitles.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure when it was on cable, it was the dub version though. I think a lot of movies that came on HBO that were foreign films, they would be dubbed. I don't remember exactly. I'm not 100% sure about that. But except for maybe those comedies like you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it could have been a comedy. One of those comedies could have been the first one I saw.
I can't even remember.
I have absolutely no idea what my first one was. No clue.
I've seen so many, but I used to never I still prefer it, but I will watch some of the dubs now of anime. I used to only would watch it with subtitles of the original Japanese track. I always preferred it. Like the dub tracks are still annoying. I don't know why. They just sometimes they go over the top with. And the Japanese is kind of like it too. But if I watch anime, I usually like because sometimes some of these animes, if you go back and read about them, and they'll have changed stuff in the soundtrack and things. They'll change the sound effects and things like that when they redub them, and I think it was like that with I go blank so bad on here, but one of the classics, they had changed sound effects and people, but I'm not really nerd out about that kind of stuff too much. I don't really care personally, but that's interested people who get upset over those kind of things. The sound of the laser guns didn't sound exactly like it did on the original Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gundam, that's what it was.
Gundam. Okay.
The original Gundam series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Jim says City of God. That's a Brazilian movie. Yeah, that is really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never seen that.
Yeah. Rough movie. Yeah, that's right. Because we couldn't understand the Australian accents, I guess. So they had to. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's good.
Well,
I remember seeing. I'm sorry, Kenny. Go ahead.
No. You were talking about accents. When you watch, the one that I had to turn on the closed captioning was Snatch.
I was going to say Snatch, because of Brad Pitt and their.
And Statham, I couldn't understand what the hell Statham was talking about.
Yeah, my dad would do that with a lot of British movies. He would watch the subtitles or the closed caption. Yeah, just to get everything, Yeah,
I didn't know different places. Yeah, I was just gonna say that they all to different parts of. Even if you watch, there's a couple of the guys that are on YouTube, like Stuart, Kermit's Ghost. They all have different accents, and I have no idea where the hell these guys are from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's really weird because some of them you have to listen really carefully to.
Yep.
Well, Scottish and Irish accents are really heavy, especially Scottish. It's way heavier than the English accent. But there's English accents, they vary so much. There's so many different English accents as well. I mean, obviously there are in America as well, probably even more so. But there's a comedian that he's an American, but he lives in England. But he does all these. He's a brilliant impressionist, and he does all these English different dialects, English dialects and stuff. And he's just as far as I can tell, spot on. I'm not English, so I'm not an expert, but they sound really well done. He calls himself a one-man Monty Python show. But he don't have a lot of backlog and stuff. He's kind of weird. He's very talented, but he just don't do anything. His name's Will Franken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he's an American who went to England and lives there.
And then
I'm
like,
sorry, Dan, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was going to say sometimes if you see a subtitle movie first, and then you catch the dubbed version. If the voices don't sound like you think they're going to sound, or they don't sound sort of like the tone of the voice from the subtitle version, like I have a problem with that. Like like the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf is in French. I watched about 10 minutes of the dub version. I was like, I can't do it. Like all the lead guys, they sounded goofy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that used to be hard about doing dubbed versions too, on why I also stayed away from international films, was because I could not. It's like one of my pet peeves is when the lips are off on movies, because like I don't know if it's subconscious or not, but like I don't know when you're watching a movie if you look at the actors in their eyes, or if you watch their mouths, or if you interchange it. But somehow, if I'm watching a movie and I notice, just for whatever reason, if I am looking at the mouth and their lips are off, then I can't watch it because it just annoys the hell out of me. But obviously I can do it now because I watched the dubbed versions, and of course their lips are off. So I think it's because I understand that, I'm choosing to watch the dubbed version. So of course their lips are going to be off. If it's that annoying, then I can just read the subtitles and do it that way. But
the old kung fu movies the old kung fu movies. They're the notorious ones for that.
Yeah, there were some really bad ones. Like a guy would be like eating, and his voice would still be.
Yeah.
But spaghetti westerns, they were known. The way they worked over there is basically all the actors would do their parts in their own, where they would have people from different countries.
Mm-hmm.
They would all basically act out their parts in their own native tongue, and then they would just overdub everything. So it had a lot of mismatch there as well. It usually I don't pay attention to it a whole lot in spaghetti westerns, but it's there.
Well, I remember watching the dub version of Hercules with Jim Reeves.
Oh,
and that was just like really bad. even the one with Hercules in New York with Arnold.
Oh,
that's not his voice. Isn't it awful, Dan?
Yeah, they Letterman got him one night. He was on there to promote like his latest movie in the 80s, and they went to watch a clip of it, and they showed a clip from Hercules in New York where he had like the high pitched squeaky voice. And they came back from that, and Arnold was like, he almost couldn't talk. He was laughing so hard. He was like,
I still haven't seen that one, and I still don't think I've seen any of his Conans, because I'm a huge Arnold fan, but I haven't seen everything he's done. So it's mostly his early stuff.
What's his first movie? Oh, sorry, Kenny.
The Villain, isn't
Stay
the
Fit, my friend. What was that one he did where it was like a weightlifting movie?
Pumping Iron.
No. Was it that, or I thought it was like Stay Hungry, my friend?
One of them was a documentary. One of them
Stay Hungry.
Pumping Iron was the documentary, and I think Stay Hungry.
Yeah, it was an actual movie.
Yeah.
I think it's something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're all Arnold fans. What is one movie that we have to let Katie watch of Arnold's from his early stuff? You've seen the Terminator, right?
I've seen what?
Terminator?
Of course.
Okay.
The first.
Now,
Terminator 2 is one of my all-time favorite movies, and True Lies. Those are two of my all-time favorites.
She definitely needs to see Conan, because she said she hasn't seen Conan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Conan. I haven't seen... Yeah. I don't know if he was in both Hercules or how many Hercules. I know at least Hercules in New York, but I don't know what other ones.
I think that's so.
That's almost like... And Jim, by the way, Jim says he has to go, so thanks a lot, Jim.
Oh, see you, Jim.
By. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Hi, Jim.
Comments.
Jim gave me a good recommendation, so that's always awesome. But yeah, I think the Hercules in New York is just like they just took like the Hercules name and made it into a comedy. Whereas actually, Lou Ferrigno, who he competed against, was in at least a couple of the Hercules movies, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
My Arnold movie for you, Katie, would be The Running Man, 1987.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen The Running Man. I love that movie. Seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Commando. Did you see Commando?
I'm not sure. I've seen Predator, of course, and I don't know if I've seen Commando. I don't think so. I have seen Red Heat as well, the one with Belushi or something.
That's a really good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. I know those are a bit earlier ones of his. But I don't think I've seen Commando.
Raw Deal is pretty good. That's an underrated
very
one.
Underrated. Yes.
Because it's more scaled down. He's not doing. It's not. This. The stunts aren't as outrageous. It's like a cops and robbers type of a film, and it's got a lot of good people in it too. Besides Arnold, yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Wait, so is there a Red Heat and a Raw Deal?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Both. Yep.
Yeah, Raw Deal came out in '86.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I remember seeing that. And of course, we saw all of them in the theater.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was like the same with Seagal when Steve started. Yeah. Not like he's in it for 3 minutes and he's just going.
Can't forget Stop or my mom will shoot. Oh no, that's Stallone. That's Stallone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right when I said it, I was like, that's Stallone.
There's Twins. There's Junior.
Twins.
There's Jingle All the Way, like his more goofier movies. I've seen all of those, of course.
Yeah.
So I don't know then if it's Red Heat or Raw Deal that I've seen. One of them I've seen, one of them I haven't.
Red Heat's the one where he's the Russian agent, and he goes to Chicago to team up with Jim Belushi.
Kindergarten Cop.
Yep. I gotta get my chart back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So.
Last Action Hero.
Yes. How could I forget about that? That's one of my favorites too when I was growing up. Yeah. So I still, and then, so what's Raw Deal? That's the cop and robbers one, he said? Dan said?
Yeah.
And who's in that one with him?
Sydney just brought up End of Days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, End of Days.
Yeah.
So many that I am forgetting. End of Days. I love that one with him too.
Collateral Damage.
Collateral Damage, yeah.
Eraser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when he just started putting out stuff, though. I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm just saying that's when he just put out a bulk of stuff that I've seen all that stuff, but I just don't know if they're just kind of forgettable movies or.
And then his more recent stuff, like Maggie.
Maggie, yeah. That's what I can remember.
The Last Stand was really good. I liked him in that one.
And there's this movie that I actually just saw the preview for when I was watching one of the movies called Aftermath. Yeah. Have you guys seen that one or heard of it?
I've heard of it. Sydney just brought it up. I never heard of that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's actually based on a true story. I've seen it on Hamilton Book. I want to get it. It's only like $5-6 for the Blu-ray or whatever. But it's about a plane that crashed, and his family was on it, and he's trying to get just an apology basically from the control guy, whatever, who works in the towers at the airport, because he did something wrong that caused the accident for the plane, for everybody on the plane or something. From what I got from the preview, like I said, I've never seen the movie. It was the first time I saw the preview. I never knew what it was about. I just knew it had Arnold in it. And I was like, yes, I want it. Yeah. So,
well, Katie, it's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. Okay. No. So is Commando the one that I need to check out?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if I have it or not. I'll have to look. There's a possibility I do. And same thing with Red Heat and Raw Deal, because I have to figure out. I'm pretty sure it's the Red Heat one and not the Raw Deal. So I'll see which one out of those two that I have. And I'll look them up too and see if I can watch them on what streaming service. Because the only one, or I don't have Netflix, I don't have Prime anymore. And I think that's it. I still have HBO Max. I have Hulu. And
I primarily watch a lot of Tubi.
Okay. No, that's nothing wrong with that. Tubi works great.
Yeah, that's what they have. Such a variety of movies that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put in a movie like I'll say, "Oh, I wonder if this is on Tubi." I'll type it in, but they don't have it. But if it's like the name of a '50s monster movie, they'll have like 27 other ones. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just watch that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we didn't mention Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
How can you forget Total? Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember much about that one because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I always just remember the 3 breast chick.
Yeah.
So.
The 6th Day.
I've never seen the 6th Day. God.
Yeah. So
many of his movies. Completely forgot about.
Michael Rappaport.
Which one?
In it. I said Michael Rappaport's in it. Michael Rooker.
Oh, okay.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, you're too young for this, Katie. They had a skit on Saturday Night Live called "With Hans and Franz," pumping up with Hans and Franz, and they used to basically Dana Carvey and Kevin Young would go like Arnold, and unbeknownst to them, one time in the middle of the skit, he walked out. He was doing it, and it looked like they just wanted to shit their pants when they seen his face. Yeah, he walks out with a cigar. He goes, "So you think it's so funny, huh?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah, did you guys watch that documentary about him a while back on I think it was on Netflix. It was pretty good, but he was talking about, he said, like, when he came to America, he started working out, and he finally met this one guy, like, really helped him get really pumped up and start winning.
Franco Colombo.
Franco
Colombo.
But the guy taught him real estate and how to buy real estate. So he said he started buying up like apartments and places like that in Los Angeles. And he said that I was already a millionaire before I even started acting in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty determined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't believe he was the governor, right? The governor of California.
Yeah. I don't think he's as stupid as people think. I don't think he's stupid at all. But
no, I don't think he's pretty smart.
I'm not saying he's I'm not saying he's governor material, but I'm just saying he's not as.
But you when you're governor, you have to make you pretty much just have to make sure everything runs. I mean,
yeah.
You're not even creating any new legislation. You got to make everything run. I know, like, I'd actually liked him. The one time he really shined, there was somebody, they were having wildfires, and some reporter was needling him about getting enough of those special helicopters to fight the fires. Because the previous governor, that's one of the reasons he got impeached, because he did not dispatch those helicopters to fight the fires. And she was like, and he kept saying, no, we did this on day one. We did this. We got these helicopters from here. And she just wouldn't stop. And then he took her by the hand and he said, "Sweetie, trust me, you're not going to find anything." He's just,
wow.
He's like, "You're looking for stuff. You're not going to find it." He just didn't take any crap from her.
I mean, just think too. He came from Austria, didn't speak English.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like baseball players that have been in this country for 20 years that still can't speak English.
Yeah.
That live here 24/7. At least he took enough to incentive that he wanted to make it, and he spoke, he learned the language,
Right. And you think about his early roles, right? The Terminator, he's playing a cyborg from the future. So the accent was fine, right?
Right.
Didn't matter. Conan, it's a fantasy from he's
Yeah.
a Sumerian from a northern land, so that's fine. He was pretty smart about the role because he said he wanted to make comedies, but he knew he couldn't come out of the gate making comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either. I always figured
Yeah.
he would have wanted to do action just because of the, muscles, and
Mm-hmm.
the bodybuilding and all, just
Yeah.
Who
the toughness that he puts off and everything.
I
So,
always forget the name of the guy that directed Conan. He's the guy that did Red Dawn, and
John
he
Milius.
wrote John Milius. Yeah, I don't think he really wanted him in the part of Conan at first. He didn't think he's up for it, but I think he kind of proved him wrong. 'Cause
Yeah.
he worked really hard to become really good, the swordsman. And all that stuff, and I think he kind of proved him wrong. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I read all the books, the whole Conan series.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I think he got about 90. They got about like 90% of it. And some of the books he actually, I mean, believe me, he's not a humorous character. He's a barbarian in the books. If you do something, the wrong thing, he'll kill you with one punch. But there are little funny bits in there. There is that kind of side of him. You didn't really see that in the first one, but then again, that was his whole origin. You know what I mean? So it was,
okay.
yeah, you weren't really going to see that anyway. But yeah, that to me, he captured, Milius and Schwarzenegger captured the essence of those books.
What did you think, Dan? What did you think of the Momoa one?
I got about 20 minutes in, and I bailed.
Really? Okay, I did.
I just wasn't feeling it.
I really didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the Conan that we grew up on, but I really didn't mind it at all because I had heard nightmares about it, and I didn't care. I liked it.
Yeah, it was just I just thought the beginning was weird, and I don't know. It's so hard. I mean, the first one is such a. If you grew up with the first one, it's just a iconic movie.
Did you guys mention The Running Man? That's another good one.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah,
out of all,
that's
a
good one.
I heard. Are they remaking that?
Yes, they are.
I'm sure they are.
Really?
They're making it with the Glenn Powell.
Okay. See, I don't actually mind that because the movie's so much different than the book.
Oh, is it? I've never.
Yeah, it's very, very different from the book. It's not in like an enclosed. He's out he's out in society, in the streets and stuff. It's very different. So if they follow the book, it's really going to be a much different story. Yeah,
and cool. They're also Kevin Hart is remaking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ooh, that's tough one.
Which one?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh.
With Steve Martin and John Candy.
Well, who's going to be the other guy?
There are talks that it's going to be Kenan Thompson as John Candy from Saturday Night Live.
It's going to be the DEI, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I would say make a movie inspired by that, but don't remake it.
Yeah.
There can be a big difference between the two. You know what I mean?
I just wish they would leave these classics, because now they're gonna. Yeah. I also read in the same column they're making a urban version of Breakfast Club. Why?
Seriously, with how many people there are in the world, more than ever, why can't we come up with new ideas? Why do we have to keep making the same movie over and over and over and over again?
I sent you guys in our Dan. In our little chat group. I'll put you in there too. I sent everything that they have for next year is all sequels.
Oh.
Moana 2.
Oh no! Yeah, I saw that. It's like Moana 2, and sorry, I can't remember what else. But
I can't remember either. It was just like, and I got so angry just like reading the list because it basically was, just like all sequels. You know,
Yeah.
and then I read today that they're doing three more Star Wars movies in 3 years,
Ugh.
and they're all going to be out in like 3 years. It'll be like 26, 27, 28. So it's like they, you know, it's like you're expanding this, with Star Wars. I hold that very sacred. Okay, but it's like, you know, I I, I just really am conflicted with, because I try to go with an open mind about them, but it's just like, were these characters that we really needed to explore? You know?
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I feel about Beetlejuice too. I mean, I know that may be surprising coming from such a huge Tim Burton fan and everything, but I don't think we need it. Like, there is no reason for there to be any continuation of that story. Just like
Right.
with the Wednesday series, that's involving Tim Burton and everything. Like, I am not excited. Like, I am so tired. He's created such original stories. Why do this? There's no need. Like, he's such a creative mind. Why are we doing this? To just, I don't know. I'm just not
It,
excited. I don't, yeah.
I looked up that planes, trains, and automobiles, and it says on here, on an Internet Movie Database, it only has like the director and the writer and the stars. And it says Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I thought
yeah,
he stepped away for a while.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't
Not
see
just
him
because of
doing
the
either.
plot, but because of like his divorce and all this other shit that I thought was going on with him and everything too. So I don't know. That's weird.
I can't see him doing either role, to be honest with you.
No, I really can't.
Like,
And this is the problem. The director is Aisha Carr, Aisha Carr. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. Yeah, Aisha Carr. But like her like all of her credits are, it's like unoccupied, co-executive producer, co-executive producer. She has no direct, well, unless it's listed separately. I'm sorry, it might be. I don't see any directing credits. But known for the Carmichael Show, never heard of.
Carmichael Show was very good.
But it's producer, not director. So she's going to direct and write this movie, not writer.
I don't know. There's like certain movies you just don't touch. And
Yeah.
That's just such.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such an iconic and loved movie, And it's just like, I mean, because they did, I guess about 10 years ago, they did a black version of About Last Night. And if you ever watched About Last Night, that movie did not have to be remade.
Yeah.
It had Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, prime Demi Moore, Jim Belushi, who was absolutely hysterical in that movie.
And
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, 80s movies had like a certain feel too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you just can't recoup that,
Yeah.
Because I was telling one of my friends today that like Kevin Hart took over the Martin Lawrence role. It's like Martin Lawrence was like really huge in like the 90s and early 2000s, and then he went away to have his family and stuff like that, and then Kevin Hart takes it, over, and I don't think he's funny.
No,
I don't see it. I mean, I did watch the one what he did with The Rock when they went to high school together, and The Rock was like a CIA guy. I don't know that name of that movie, but I thought that was. But that was kind of funny because I like The Rock.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Yeah. Did you know? Because I just rewatched the 40-Year-Old Virgin. That Kevin Hart actually has a small part in that movie, and I did not remember that at all.
I didn't even remember that. No.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, that's Kevin Hart. What the hell? Because that movie was, 2004 or something like that? So 20 years ago. yeah, so that was, but I think he's funny. I actually like him better than I like The Rock because of some of the shit I've been hearing about The Rock lately. As a person,
yeah.
I do like to divide the person from the actor a lot of the time, but there are also some things like, oh my God, Danny Masterson. Like him, I won't watch any of his shit ever again if he ever tries to come back, which I don't think that can happen. Plus, he got a 30-year sentence and stuff. So,
I was
but
just gonna say, isn't he in jail for life? He ain't coming out.
yeah. So, but I mean, I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I can't watch Kevin Spacey movies as much as I love The Usual Suspects. I can't watch a single thing that man's in.
yeah, no, I don't support him anymore, but it's kind of hard not to want to watch the stuff that he's been in before that. Because I mean, I understand that the stuff that he's alleged or whatever it is happened during those movies and stuff like that, but it's kind of hard, especially since The Life of David Gale is one of my favorite movies that has him in it. Is hard not to like anymore, because I don't know. Sometimes it's hard with certain. It just I always try to just separate the person from the actor. Like even with Amber Heard, like I'll watch the first Aquaman with no problem, but I am not supporting the second Aquaman or anything further that she does. Even though Aquaman was still during part of the shit and everything going on between them, but and there's this other movie that she's done, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane or something like that. Yeah, she was really good in that one, in my opinion. So I'll still like watch that. And I can't think of any other ones right now that she's been in that I can remember of, but like I'll still watch that. But none of her further going on stuff if she does anything else. And same for Kevin Spacey. I won't watch any of his stuff if he tries anything going forward, but stuff from before that I will. That's just me personally though. So, or the way I try to, kind of like with Will Smith too, it's kind of hard to look at him the same way after everything. So like his movies going forward, I don't really care about or want to have anything to do with him, but the movies from back in the day that I liked, I'll still want to watch, but just no support going forward. Same thing with Disney. Like I am done with Disney. Like they have royally fucked up and there's no redemption that they could ever do. And I'm completely done with them. So the only thing I will ever support, because it of course is tied to Disney and there's nothing I can do about that, is Nightmare Before Christmas, because I can't not love something that I've loved for over 20 years and been obsessed with for over 20 years. So, But other than that, I'm done. So even like Moana 2 and everything else, no.
I'll probably see. Definitely going to see the Wolverine and Deadpool movie.
Oh well, see, I keep forgetting that that's part of Disney too.
Yeah.
God, I hate that.
Well, somebody made the comment the other day about how they, how Disney was, after this movie's been a big success, how they're like, they're like restructuring things, and I said, no, they're not. They won't do anything different. Like they said the same thing after the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out last year. They said the same thing. It's like, oh, how it was like kind of a diamond in the rough as far as everything had been coming out, and they didn't change anything. They're still going forward, making a bunch of crap.
Yeah, I hate that they own a Marvel and Star Wars. I mean,
yeah.
I want, some things should have their own distinct.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that George Lucas made Lucasfilm. I mean, he made Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
He built all that.
Yeah.
And just to be like, okay, let me sell to you now. That was like surprising to me.
It rumored that he they made a deal, and in the deal there was some kind of clause in it, and he actually tried to back out, and they were like, "Oh no, you can't back out." And I think it's something that has to do with the stock market or so. I don't really know what it is, but there was some kind of deal that he would like lose so much money, or he would have to pay them so much money if he backed out of the deal or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they put some stuff in there like that. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Because they never intended on doing anything. Because he had a script for the new trilogy, or at least the first movie of the trilogy. He had a script that he handed to him, and it sounded really interesting as well. It sounded really, really weird and crazy, which had been a really cool Star Wars. It was going to explore the Metachlorians and the origin of the Metachlorians, and basically the Metachlorians are controlled by this like ancient race in another galaxy. This crazy stuff, but it would have been a hell of a lot better than what we got, Yeah.
I'll have to take your word for it. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Hardly.
That was just like a rumored script that come out. Supposedly it dropped, but I was like, yeah, man, they should have got like David Lynch should direct that Star Wars movie. That would be, It sounded pretty interesting to me. It sounded more interesting what they're doing. Speaking of interesting movies, I've been wanting to show this to y'all. You guys may have seen it, you may not have. There's an Australian-made movie with Henry Thomas. He was the kid from E.T.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In America, it was called The Quest, but the real name for the movie is called Frog Dreaming. And Frog Dreaming is like an Aboriginal. It was like an Aboriginal folklore, I guess you say. It's a really good movie. I had a whole synopsis I thought of talking about it, but Henry Thomas is an American kid living in Australia. It's kind of set in, I don't really know what area it is. It's not really no name for where they're at, but they're kind of in like a wilderness kind of town. There's like a town in the wilderness, but they must be close to the ocean because there's a scene where he goes and visits this other guy and he's like on the ocean. So I don't know where it's supposed to be set, but he has there's this old man that he's friends with, and he lives he lives up in this mountainous area. It's in like a national park, and it's like and there's like a small like lake there, and like and there's like this something happens, and there's like this creature that comes up, and the Aboriginals have like a tale for this creature or something, because he ends up finding the old man passed away, and it's really kind of, the movie ends up being more of an adventure for him trying to learn about the Aborigines and learn about this tale about this creature, all this stuff. And I don't want to tell you too much, we give it away, because I think you see it. It's a pretty good movie, but he's like I said, he's like an orphan, but he's living with this guy, and they live in kind of this warehouse with a lot of junk. It's like a junk warehouse, and he's kind of like an inventor type kid. Henry Thomas is, and he like just builds stuff, like builds mechanisms. Like one of the things the movie starts out is he has like a rail. He has a bicycle with like it's like kind of a rail bike where he's got a thing that can attach to a railroad, so he can ride his bicycle down the railroad. It has like a support on one side, and he rides down the other rails, and he's doing that. And like in the town people all kind of like him, but there's a couple of the parents and stuff don't like him. They say he's reckless and a bad influence, and he's friends with a couple of girls, and his dad, the father, doesn't like him because he doesn't want him around and all this stuff. But it's just it's a fun little movie. And
also available on Tubi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of like really quirky movies set in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, I watched some of the extra features where they interviewed him, and he was like, even after ET, he had already kind of decided he was going to quit movies, and they kind of contacted him about it, and he was like, he was interested in it, and he went and done it. But I don't think he really did anything after that.
Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't remember that one, John?
No.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't see it, but I remember it. Yeah.
Oh, we went to see that. I thought you had got the box set for that, John. Cloak and Dagger.
Mm-mm.
That's a great movie.
Is it?
I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one, Katie. Let me see if it's on Tubi. I really recommend that one. Went to see that in the movies because that was like when he was like really like super popular with ET. Nah, it's not on streaming, unfortunately.
I picked up that steelbook, Point Break steelbook. I don't think I have it on DVD, I think, but I never had bought it on Blu-ray.
I forgot that they wear masks. I'm looking at that picture. It's like, why is he making such a funny face? I'm like, oh yeah, they all wear masks. But
yeah, they're coming out with some more new steelbooks over at Walmart. They got a 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, and they're coming out with Thanksgiving on 4K steelbook. Those are both $35.99. And then they have Stephen King's The Stand, the original, with the Terminator 2 cop guy. I can never say his last name, but I always remember he's Terminator, the bad cop guy. Terminator 2. That one is $22.99. And then I'm blanking on what else. I thought there was another one. But yeah, those are the new ones. And then I don't know if I told you guys. I think last time I was on here, we talked about the Sinister, Wolf Creek, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw, 2010 or something. It's one of the newer ones. And I Spit on Your Grave. I think I already said that. Anyways, those ones are all $22.99 at Walmart too. I think they're coming out this month, and they got like an orange and a black finish, so it kind of Halloween goes together type thing. So
yeah, I still kind of regret buying the I Spit on Your Grave from Walmart. It was the special Valentine's Day cover, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's really a movie I want to associate with Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was, they had My Bloody Valentine, and they had some other ones, and nice red covers. But I was like, you know what? That's a little weird to get. I didn't own the movie, so I. And those special editions that they usually come out with the glow in the dark covers or whatever, they're not expensive usually at all. So
yeah, no, they're not. It is the remake though that's coming out on steelbook, not the original. I've never seen the I Spit on Your Grave original.
Okay.
So, but no, I've seen the remake, and that was pretty bad. So, but I can only imagine how much worse, because like Last House on the Left, like I've seen the original and the remake. Original, of course, is a lot worse than the remake. So I can only.
It's so much grittier,
It looks so much more real, and just that's a lot. So I can only imagine what the original is for that. Yeah.
Now I've heard all kinds of different things about the sequels. The remake, they remade it. Then there was a second one, completely different character, and then the third one
is the original girl again. Yeah, because I've seen sequels.
I've heard people say the third one is great, and then I saw it and I was like, it was pretty good. I did like it, and I've heard people say the second one sucks, but I've also heard people say, well, the second one's my favorite of all of them. So I really don't know. But I'll check it out eventually.
Yeah, no, the second one, it was okay. I don't remember much about it. I do like the second and the third one though, because they both go with the same girl and everything. So I like that better,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah.
And then there's also one called Deja Vu, which I just recently got a couple months ago, but I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know what that one is about. I know I don't know if it has anything to do with any of the remakes or if it has something more to do with like the original. I don't know what it is yet. So.
I think that's a direct sequel to the original.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
what I think it is. Yeah, I haven't
okay.
seen it. Yeah.
Here's another weird one I picked up. It's called the Loved One from 1965.
Oh, is that the Australian horror one?
No.
Oh, it's not.
This is a movie from 1965. It's a comedy.
Oh.
It's kind of strange though. It's like but it's got like one of these star-studded casts. It's got like Jonathan Winters, Rob Steiger, James Coburn, and Tab Hunter, Liberace, Roddy McDowell, and who? That's a big like Don Haggerty's in it. But the reason I found out about it was because I've come across a YouTube video that was talking about Paul Williams, and it was like one of those, what happened to Paul Williams. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah.
Yep.
70. He's in it as a kid, but it's this weird, it's this strange movie. It's based around like this like really like kind of upscale cemetery, and it's like it's not really mentioned as like Cemetery to the Stars type place, but it's this really weird place in Hollywood where it's very expensive to be buried there, and they like whenever you're given a funeral, you're given like one of these realistic funerals where they put you out on like a couch and you're like really laying there. You're not in a coffin or something, and it's like this realistic scene kind of and it's kind of goes behind the scenes with like all the beauticians and the morticians and things, and it follows some of these people through the movie. But what happens is that they're running out of space to bury people. So Paul Williams' character early in the movie, Jonathan Winters, he gets like demoted from working there, so he ends up his I guess it's his uncle that he works for. He's the one that owns the place. He's like this really rich guy, and he demotes him and makes him go work at like basically a pet mortuary, and they're like doing the same thing. But he gets Paul Williams as a kid. Paul Williams, like one day, like there's like a rocket that lands in one of their back rooms of the mortuary, or the pet mortuary, and he comes by and he's like building rockets, like liquid propel rocket or something like that. But they decide, well, we're going to start like shooting these animals into space, and then like his uncle finds out about it, and so he decides, well, how about we just once you develop a rocket for me so we can shoot the humans into space because we're running out of space. It's a strange movie. It's just a bizarre. It's got a weird feel to it. It's funny, and it's kind of dark. It's like a dark humor movie. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's one called The Loved Ones, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Michael Mann said he said The Loved One is one of his 25 favorite movies. It's an interesting one for sure. You can kind of see on there that person in the coffin with the rocket.
Yeah.
It's weird. Paul Williams he's got a kind of a decently major role, especially towards the end of the movie, but he was hard to find in the listing. It's kind of weird.
Wasn't he like a big music producer, or am I thinking of someone else?
He was a performer. He was a singer for a while as well.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know everything about him. You guys probably know more about him than I do, but I just know a little bit about him from that documentary. Well, I just remember him being in things like I Oh yeah, he was in like some. Wasn't he? He was on that spin-off of the Fall Guy. He wasn't. He was in the Fall Guy. They were like him and another guy were characters
Oh,
that
really?
played some kind of characters in the Fall Guy, and then they had a spin-off about them. And I think the spin-off never took off, and then they tried to make a movie about those same characters in it. It was a whole ordeal. That's what the video was about. But the guy got into his history as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in an episode of the Night Gallery. Yeah. I think he was in one of the Planet of the Apes movies too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of music for Barbra Streisand, Dan.
Oh, okay.
He did Evergreen.
Okay.
And he was in a lot. He was really good friends with Roddy McDowall and Burt Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he's in the first Planet of the Apes.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah, the first Planet of the Apes, because I'll never forget. I think it was like Christmas break. You know, Christmas break. That's when you watch Johnny Carson. He walked out.
That's right.
Coming from the set on Planet of the Apes.
Made up. Yep. I've seen that clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Roddy McDowall? Did he do that as well? Because he did it on Carol Burnett as well.
Oh, he did it on. Yeah, that's right.
I just remember Paul Williams because he was sitting there and he was trying to get a cigarette in the ape's mouth to smoke. That's when on the Tonight Show you could smoke. Johnny smoked.
You're talking about Paul Williams. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were still talking about.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were, but then I heard like Roddy McDowall in there as well, and I kind of.
Well, he was in Planet of the Apes. That's why I brought up.
Yeah.
I think he was in Smokey and the Bandit, isn't he? Doesn't he play that little short?
Yeah, the brothers, him and Pat McCormick.
Yeah, maybe those are the characters that they were trying to spin off into a. It was that, or maybe those characters also made it into the Fall Guy or something. It was something weird like it, and they tried to spin the characters off into their own series because the one guy, Pat McCormick, was a writer. And he had some kind of checkered past. Yeah, he had some kind of checkered past though as well, but he had become a writer and then acted in those, and then they were going to spin it off into a series, and the series didn't take off, or they didn't want to make it, so they made a movie, like a made-for-TV movie about those characters, and to try to relaunch the series or something, it didn't work. It was bad.
Yeah, because McCormick was famous. He did the after David Niven streaked on the Oscars. Pat McCormick streaked on Johnny Carson's show.
Little Enos, was he on? No. Was he on that as well? I think by the 80s he was doing a lot of TV parts. I believe was he on Dukes of Hazzard?
He could have been. Yeah, I really don't remember.
I think he played a lot of those. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you guys about ready to head on? It's been over 2 hours.
Yeah, we could wrap it up. That'd be great.
We can keep going if you want for a few minutes. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, that's about it. Though I did pick up. I finally picked this up. I finally picked this set up. That's a good set too. It's got all 4 seasons plus the animated series and Alf Tales on here. The reason I picked it up, these guys I listen to, and they talk about all the strangeness that went on and kind of meaning behind it, stuff that I don't know a lot about because I'm not very well researched into it, but it just sounded interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know there's a video about how the guy that played the dad, by the end of the show, he was done. He was like, I can't stand this anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because all the working with the puppeteering, a lot of times it took a lot longer than normal for them to set up shots and everything.
Yeah.
And he was just, he would just be standing there, like waiting and waiting. So apparently when they wrapped up the last episode, he just like walked out the back door, didn't say anything to anybody, just like he was just gone.
Wow.
What was the actor that played Mike Brady? What was the actor that played Mike Brady?
Oh, Mike Brady is
what's his name?
Robert Reed.
Robert Reed. Yeah, he's like another Robert Reed, though. He's like this classically trained actor, and then he got put in this kind of crap role. But I mean, I'd just be glad to be. I mean, I understand people are really committed to their art, but
he was the straight guy, so he was just had to.
Yeah.
For him, it got repetitive, you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame because a lot of kids liked that show. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
wanted to check it out, but my boyfriend told me that he eats cats, so regardless if it's fake or not, I probably shouldn't even try watching it because.
Well, they don't. If he never eats a cat on.
It was a kid's show.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that, but then when he told me that, I was all like, okay, never mind. I thought he told me to stay away from it because he knows how I am. I'm sensitive when it comes to any kind of animal, anything. But I thought it was, just a regular like Nick at Night, type of show, which are usually harmless. But he told me to stay away because he eats cats. So
that's what they did that's what they did on their planet, Melmac.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they had a cat there. What was it, Fluffy?
Yeah.
So
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like, we're gonna have Fluffy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe then I'll check it out. He told me to stay away from it like that. So I thought like they were cutting up cats and feeding it to him like that. I don't know.
This was on at 8 o'clock at night.
I know. That's what. I'm just going off of what he told me. He was like, they eat cats. So that's what I had pictured in my head. So, because I remembered nothing about it. I'm sure I probably saw it, on Nick at Night or whatever. But
they sold I remember getting my brother an Alf doll for Christmas when I was at the store. I mean, they had everything, bed sheets. Alf dolls. I mean, if this thing was eaten like cats or something, how much people would have been bitching about that,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I was just going off of what he told me.
I went for Halloween. I went for Halloween as Alf.
Did you really?
My mom bought me the mask. They made like a fairly nice mask with like the rubber nose and like the fur top, but like my grandmother made me like the fur suit that matched it.
Awesome.
I think they had one you could buy, but it was expensive. So my grandmother made like a fur suit that matched it. It looked like kind of fairly real. I didn't have gloves, or I don't think I had gloves. I might have. I can't remember. I think we still have it though in the attic. Yeah.
I remember he did a thing on Comic Relief. There's going back, Dan. Comic Relief with Rodney Dangerfield, and they were both wearing the red tie. And he goes, "Hey, Rodney, I get no respect." My brother comes up with that. Sometimes, he'll just like shoot me a tweet or something like that. He goes, but that was a really fun show.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure now.
One of the funniest, before we get off here, one of the funniest Rodney bits that I don't think people, I tell it to people all the time that I don't think they get it or something. It's not as funny. It's funny to me because he's like, my old man was stupid. He worked at a bank. He got fired for stealing pens.
Yeah, I just seen that too.
Nobody gets it.
Yeah.
He worked at a bank, but he got fired for stealing pens, not stealing money.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've got. I still have pens. Kenny, I probably still have pens in my house that say Commerce Bank on them.
I was just going to ask you.
I still got an ice scraper that says Commerce Bank.
Do you really?
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, because Katie, why the joke was, because when you used to go into banks, you used to literally go into banks all the time.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have drive-thrus, and all the pens had this cord on it.
Yeah,
like a chain on it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of it's kind of funny. if you didn't grow up like in the 70s and 80s, you have no idea of some of the humor, especially like in old comics. Because I'm watching these reaction videos for these people, and they have no idea.
A lot of times they don't get it.
They don't get the jokes.
Yeah, we're about out of here as well. So thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, Sydney.
Bye, Sydney.
Thanks, Sydney.
I like the character on My Name Is Earl, who he's the guy he's teaching English in, like on the first couple episodes, and but he's saying it's stealing pens. He steals pens from everywhere he goes. He's stealing pens. He has a big pocket full of pens because he brings one. He comes into like they're having like a I don't know, like one of those meetings, like a Al-Anon meeting or something for people's problems they're having. But excuse me, but he pulls out a pen and it's got a chain on it from the bank. Well, everybody, I think we're about ready to get out of here.
Yep,
it's getting hot in here anyway. And we'll see you guys next week, and hope you join us again. We had a good time. Thanks for all your chats, and a lot of them this evening. I appreciate it. It's been really nice.
Yeah.
Keeps the conversation going and makes it easier for us. Especially we didn't have a topic this week. I didn't really think about it. So I just put on our title, I put movie Talkin and Jivin.
Yeah.
I don't know if
we didn't have a topic to get off of any,
Yeah, true.
Well, I like how it is anyways. I like going around and around, jumping around to different subject matter anyway. It's fun that way. Well, everybody, I guess we'll see you guys next week. And till then.
Have a good